Richard, this is your world. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, actually, it started off as being Richard Murphy Sr.'s world first. He really loved the water my grandfather did. And he went to the Keys and he liked the Keys. The problem was he saw that the Keys was going to turn into a real tourist mecca. And that's not what he wanted. He was worried about what was going to happen to the quality of the water. He was worried about, how many houses were going to be built, septic issues. He was really a smart guy. This was back in the 50s. So in 1960, he had a little plane, and he flew over and started bouncing around the islands. And he realized that this place, Chub Key, was just far enough away, not like Bimini. It's 140 miles from Miami, that potentially might be far enough away to where he could have his privacy, solitude, but be here in an hour. Same amount of time it took to drive to Isla Morada, so to speak. So he bought a place over here, built a place in 1960. And then in 1970, my grandmother died of breast cancer. So in 1972, he met another lady. It just so happens her name was Mary as well. My grandmother's name was Marion. My step-grandmother's name is Mary. He talked about this place, Chub Key. She said, well, let's go check it out. Let's go look at it. So he came over, stayed in his old house, knew the guy he sold it to. They spent a few days here, and she really fell in love with the place, too. So they bought the property right next door and built their own house, which was, I thought, really big of her, because the truth is that all he had to do when he would sit down and eat breakfast is look over his left shoulder, and he could see his old house, his memories that he had with his first wife and his two kids, which one being my father. So as a little boy, I was exposed to all of this, the old house and the new house. And when he passed away in 1999, he had it set up into a trust for myself, my brother and sister, and my grandmother still is in charge.
That would be Grammy.
Grammy. That's what Timmy calls her, Grammy's World. That's what he says. This is really Grammy's World. And you know what? It is. And just really great for me, because to be able to expose Ridge, which would now be the 4th generation of Richards, it's kind of a neat thing. And my little boys, Colin and Ridge and Kathy, they love it. And that's what's neat, because it takes a special person to go to a private island with no shops and no restaurants to speak of, and be self-efficient, living off of a generator instead of electric, and understanding that you collect your water through a cistern. So when it rains, you got lots of water. When it doesn't rain, you don't flush the toilet quite as often. So that's the kind of things that you got to get used to. When we don't have a lot of water, we take what they call ship baths, where you get in there, get wet, turn the water off, shower up. And again, it takes a special person to understand how that all works. But they've never complained, which is really unique. And I'm real fortunate to be able to have this as a kid, as well as now as a man, and hopefully be able to pass it on to Ridge and Colin. Yeah.
That's very cool. I don't know why we need a restaurant when we have you cooking every night. Mutton snapper, Coup bear snapper, lane snapper. I think that was about world class both nights. So.
Well, thanks. Well,
yeah.
That's one of the things I enjoy. Kathy gets really, she's tickled. She says, you take better care of this over here than you do your own house. Because when she comes over, I don't let her cook, I don't let her clean. I do all that because, I kind of feel like this is really my little place, and I'm a lot more responsible to the heritage of it all. And truth is, it's a neat place, and I do really take a lot of pride in having it look nice and making it what my grandfather intended it to be. It got run down a little bit after all the storms we had in 2004 and 2005, but through a lot of hard work and labor and muscle and picking rocks up and putting them back where they were. We rebuilt docks and ironed down shingles using elastomeric paint so that when it rains you don't get the shingle granules in your water system. Plus that kind of glues down the shingles, so when you do have a hurricane it doesn't peel them up and you have to reinvent the whole roofing system. So, but it's a neat place, and it's kind of my little place to get away from it all. I feel myself flying over the Gulfstream. As soon as we get over the bank, I feel my whole body just go. And you'll see, Tim, when we get in the airplane, we start flying back. As soon as we get on the other side of the Gulfstream,
phone starts ringing, you get stressed.
Phone starts ringing, and life is over.
Yeah, stress.
Back to the grind of it all.
back to the. This is not the real world, or maybe it is the real world. You know, years ago. This is very nice.
You know,
So happy to be able to share it with you.
Yeah, and you will. We're gonna spend a lot of time over here. It's the reason why I got it right, and I got it all everything fixed. So I didn't feel the sense of urgency to work on something when I came over and see something that needs to be fixed. I walk around now and I don't see anything that needs to be fixed or repaired, and that's why I spent 3 years getting it exactly the way it needed to be, so that you and I and Larry and whoever else could enjoy it, come over and enjoy it.
Well, speaking of Larry, let's go try to spot him a bonefish.
That poor guy, man. Seriously, it must be when it hits that cold water, the balls shrink up, and the next thing you know, he's blind. It makes him go blind.
He's standing out there getting like a statue. Let's pan over there.
Look at Larry.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Glad you're here, Tim.